Right then, this is now my Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith fight prediction and preview now for you guys. And yes, this is interesting. Obviously, it goes down on the Alberto Bia versus Dimitri Bivol 2 undercard. And yes, it's a good all British clash at light heavyweight. And yeah, the winner of this fight, I think, puts themselves into really good contention for a title shot, especially Joshua Buatsi if he gets the win here, because obviously Smith had a title shot recently. But yeah, I think it's an interesting fight. Two interesting styles once again going at it. And it's a 50-50 fight. But if I'm being honest, I'm swaying towards Joshua Buatsi to win. I think Buatsi will win this fight. I'm going to say via decision, but I think there's a possibility he stops Smith, but there's also a possibility that Callum Smith can get Buatsi out of there. I think you never know. Buatsi could overwhelm Smith at some point, but you never know. Smith could catch him Buatsi walking onto something and shut his lights out. So, it's interesting. And I do think Buatsi's power is underrated. He dropped Aziz twice, I think it was. Dropped Hutchison twice as well in his two recent fights. So he's looked good in those fights, in my opinion, after receiving quite a few criticism from people other than, well, myself included, that, he's been pretty boring, being in a few dull fights here and there. But no, I think Buatsi is very good at being able to outsmart you, and I think that's what's going to end up happening here. I think the thing is, though, I want to see Callum Smith use his range because, he's going to look to fight in the pocket. And, we have seen when Callum Smith uses his range, when he used his range against Artur Biev, that's where he got his most success, where he was, setting up his shots behind his lead hand. When he came in and wanted to fight in the pocket against Biev, he was losing all those exchanges. It's going to be different here because Buatsi doesn't hit nowhere near as hard as what Biev does. And Smith will probably trade in the pocket, but that's going to be Buatsi's game. He's going to want to outsmart you up close, use his jab, get in there and outsmart Callum Smith in the pocket quite a lot of the time and at mid-range. Buatsi's just going to look to pick his shots and outsmart Smith. And we do know as well, Buatsi builds his way into a fight and you down with body shots. That's exactly what happened in that Hutchinson fight, especially. Destroyed him with those body shots. In the Craig Richards fights, with Buatsi, I think Buatsi really just drained Craig Richards out over 12 rounds with those body shots. Same as Dan Aziz, body shots from Buatsi, and he's very clever when he picks them. And I think they're going to be there all night on someone like Callum Smith. I feel like, Callum Smith's got a good guard, but, we've seen pressure fighters be able to walk down Callum Smith. Canelo, Biev. Obviously, Buatsi's not on that level and, he doesn't, dog walk you as much as they do. But he is smart. He is a smart boxer and he is decent with his lead hand. But I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to be too good. I think he'll drain Callum Smith out. And I do think that Artur Biev fight probably has taken a lot out of Callum Smith as well. That's the thing. Callum Smith did come back. He had a fight on the Sonny Edwards get out your fight card. Got a few rounds in there. Scored the knockout as well. So that was good to see from Callum Smith. But it's against a lower level guy, and Smith was able to, get his work off in the pocket nicely. Didn't really use his range at all. No, to be fair though, Smith hits harder than Buatsi, in my opinion. He does. So could that favor him in the inside exchanges? I don't know. I feel like when you're pushing Smith back, that's where he could be in trouble. Obviously, he was able to do being pushed back fine in his last fight. But once you're pushing him out, look at what Canelo was able to do when he was pushing him out. Look at what Biev did when he was pushing him back. That's the thing. I mean, people do talk about Smith's power, though. And yes, he hits harder. He hits harder than Buatsi, as I just said. But and I've seen the myth of loads of people saying, ever since Callum Smith moved up to light heavyweight, his power has been different. But look at who he's been knocking out, though. Look at who he's knocked out. He's knocked out nobody. He's no one of significance whatsoever. He's not going to knock out Joshua Buatsi, in my opinion. I mean, he's capable of it, but I don't think he's going to be able to knock Joshua Buatsi out. I think it's definitely going the distance. And Buatsi's a difficult man to knock out as well because, he took some big shots off of Dan Aziz. He took some big shots off of Hutchinson. He's taken some big shots in his career, Buatsi. Big shots off Craig Richards. I'm mentioning them because, they're the main big names who he's fought. of note, really. With Callum Smith, I think he could have a chance because when Buatsi likes to throw his overhand, he can overload with it. So you never know. That could bring something into favour of Callum Smith if he gets his timing right. Because at times, Buatsi can get messy here and there and then can get caught over the top when he can be messy with the overhand because sometimes he does overswing it and you never know if Buatsi gets caught by Callum Smith flush, then he could be in big trouble. I mean, again, we look at the Richard Bolotkins fight. That's the last fight where Buatsi actually got a stoppage. It was a good all-round performance. He was dominating that easily. And it was a good performance by Joshua Buatsi. Did what had to be done there, but it was a fight that he was always going to win anyway. I think overall, I think Buatsi's just going to be too smart for Smith. I do think Smith's operated at a higher level than what Buatsi has, though. It's not even that I think that he has operated at a higher level than what Joshua Buatsi has. So again, that is something that's in Callum Smith's favour, and that is something that can win in this fight. The overall, better experience at the high level than what Buatsi's got. But I feel like Smith's lost the touch. I do. I just have a feeling. And I think Buatsi's going to be looking at those Canelo and Beterbiev performances. I feel like Buatsi's going to try and put some of that in his game. Obviously, but Buatsi's going to be himself in there, but he's going to try and, really, he's not going to leave Smith alone, in my opinion. He's not going to give him a break at all. And, the thing about Buatsi is he's got very good stamina. He's got great cardio. He can keep up a pace. He sets a pace and he can keep it like that. And I see Joshua Buatsi being the one to push the pace in this fight. And I think Buatsi will be able to back Callum Smith up. Callum Smith might invite pressure at times and try and hope that he catches Buatsi onto something. But I think for Callum Smith to get his most success, though, he needs to take that front foot. He needs to take the initiative and he needs to keep his shots long in order to get someone like Buatsi. With these high-level guys, Callum Smith needs to keep his shots long and, fight more at range. That lead hand of Smith needs to be used more often in this fight because that is where he will get his most success. But again, though, Buatsi is pretty relentless with what he does, and he's always good at being able to beat you to the punch and beat you in those exchanges by landing more shots. And it's unpredictable as well because Buatsi does mix up his shots. It's not the same old thing. He comes in, lands, a big, right hook, left hook to the body and then goes out. No, it's some good, smart, thought through combinations that Buatsi likes to land to the body. Then he, can come in, level change, go upstairs, do his thing there. He covers up very nicely as well, Buatsi. As I said, he can get pretty wild, but again, that can be unpredictable. When the overhand does work for Buatsi, I think it can be there to be countered. But is Smith the guy to do that? I don't know. But when Buatsi is throwing that big overhand, though, it is unpredictable. And when it is there, and when it lands on you, it works. It really does make you think. So, yeah, I think Joshua Buatsi is going to win this fight. I think he's going to show a bit of a different level over Callum Smith here. That's my opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching. Speak to you in the next one.